Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Hey, podcast listeners. I'm Gianna.
I'm Chica.
And we're the hosts of Shoujo Sunday.
Shoujo Sunday is a podcast about shoujo anime, which is Japanese animation with a focus on women.
We aim to review and reflect on shoujo and shoujo-adjacent properties that deserve more attention than what they currently receive.
You can find us on all major podcast platforms, social media, and on our website, www.shoujosunday.com.
Thanks. See you there.
Cartoon Boom! Hello, and welcome to Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up the Saturday morning sun, plop down on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and all your favorite cartoons, but old and new. I'm your grateful bacon strip ready to grease you up and slide you down the street while you chase down the ice cream man, Joseph.
And I'm a hot dog with a toupee. My name's Chris.
And today, we watched Apple and Onion.
Yeah, it's a good combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know what to expect from this show, and I still feel like what we got was not what even if I would have guessed, I don't think I would have expected this.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure either. And like, I guess I'll say this. I was surprised with it. I'll say that much. I was quite surprised with it.
It was a big contrast in style versus content where I'm like, I don't know how I feel right now. I feel like I liked it, but it's like, should I have? We'll discuss.
I don't know. Yeah. This was suggested to us by Lucas via Facebook. So thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Lucas.
Appreciate it.
So the show Apple and Onion aired from 2016 to 2021, created by George Gindi, produced by Cartoon Network Studios, ran for 2 seasons, 76 episodes on Cartoon Network. For a short synopsis, set in a world populated by anthropomorphic food, Apple and Onion, a pair of childlike newcomers to the big city, attempt to fit into their new surroundings.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to figure out, like how old they're supposed to be. I guess I wasn't quite sure if they're supposed to be like teenagers or like 20s or what.
Yeah, it almost seemed like, I don't know if they were like postgraduate from high school at least. They would have had to have been like post high school, but it's like, does college just not exist in this food universe? I don't know, because they didn't seem like college kids, like aged out of that.
They weren't very bright.
No, no.
I'll say that much. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. So at least in the episodes we watched, he never really state that. But they're just kind of both sent off by their parents to the big city for different reasons.
Yeah. And those are fun too. And I will say, like, this is I don't remember if it said the whole in the description you just read, but everyone in this world is food. So
yeah, a world populated by anthropomorphic food.
Anthropomorphic food. Okay, there we go. There it is. Yeah. I was thinking about something else.
And this is like a British American comedy. Like,
yeah,
definitely British voice acting. And George Gindi is British. And this was done for like Cartoon Network. It was like a pitch for Cartoon Network Studio Europe or something. So
sure,
the humor is very dry, which makes a lot of sense where it came from. Yeah.
Total British humor.
But for some reason, it completely works.
Oh, it totally worked. I think it was very brilliant writing to be a little British. Oh, I think it was totally brilliant. It was brilliant. It was
bloody brilliant.
Bloody brilliant. So if we want to go there.
Well, who were some of the actors who played in this bloody brilliant show?
Sure. So Apple was voiced by the writer and creator of the show itself, George Gindi. And this pretty much the only thing I think he's really acted in was just his own creation here. Onion was voiced by Richard Ayoade, which I may have said that wrong. I hope I didn't, because if I did say it wrong, we're gonna get flack for that one, because he is famous across nerddom for the IT crowd, aka the IT crowd.
Oh.
I'm saying it both ways because nerds will fight about that one. I've seen Reddit. I've been on Reddit. They will fight whether it's the IT crowd or the IT crowd. Now, I honestly think it's supposed to be the IT crowd, but, it looks like the IT crowd, but with IT, capitalized. You get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
I have a anecdotal story similar to that where there's this place near us called LA Burger. But there's no punctuation in there to separate the L and the A. So I always just called it La Burger.
La Burger.
La Burger. And, I know what it obviously is supposed to be, but it's like punctuation matters. Come on, people.
It's French for burger.
Anyway, that was it.
I need that French burger. Yeah, I love that. Hot Dog was voiced by Paul Scheer, known more for The League. And he's been in several other things too. Like he's done some voices in Big Mouth and a few other things here and there, but mostly known for his appearance in The League. And also, like, if you grew up around the time that Joseph and I did and like binged all of those, I don't know, you were just home during the summer and nothing was on except those VH1 I Love the 90s and stuff like that. He was always on those. Like, it was always like Paul Scheer, Michael Ian Black, Andy Dick, a whole bunch of just random stand-up comedians that hadn't quite gotten anywhere yet, plus Andy Dick, because Andy Dick did the opposite, where he did something and then no one liked him. And then he went backwards in his career. So I knew Paul Scheer originally from shows like that. But anyway. And Falafel was voiced by Saeed Badrea. Again, another person that's done mostly live action stuff. Almost all of these people have done mostly live action. And then there's also the character that we didn't get to see in any of the episodes we watched, but Chicken Nugget, voiced by Michael Ian Richardson, who don't really need much of an intro for him. He's been in so many of the shows that we've talked about. Green Lantern, the animated series. He's the guy that you hear with the super deep voice. Sorry, I got his name wrong. Kevin Michael Richardson.
Oh, okay. I was like, so many Michael Ians.
I don't know why I said that. Kevin Michael Richardson. I'm an idiot. So there we go. Deep voice guy. You hear him all the time. There's no deep voice man.
Yeah.
And this, I want to mention one more just for fun. He's not in a lot of episodes, but he's in, I don't know, maybe 40% of the episodes, which is Eugene Meerman, who voices Burger.
Oh.
And I wanted to mention that because he voices Gene in Bob's Burgers, and Gene's always wearing the burger outfit, and he voices an actual burger in this, and I think that's hilarious.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main cast.
So there's not really a lot of marshmallows here, but for a couple tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of apple and onion cereal, the creator, George Gindy, pitched the idea of the series to Cartoon Network Development Studio Europe while working on The Amazing World of Gumball.
Hey, okay.
So yeah, he was actually working on that when the pitch for this originally came about. So that's cool.
Nice. Okay.
And you can kind of feel the relation too in some ways.
This feels like a British food version of Amazing World of Gumball in a lot of ways.
Or that or regular show. Like it's got a lot of regular show vibe to it in that it's just very like down to earth in a lot of ways, but then can completely go wild where, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to space in an episode, It's kind of like that vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the French dub, Apple and Onion themselves are voiced by French rappers Big Flo and Ali. And I don't know who those are, but it was noted somewhere. So I was like, you know what?
Okay.
Someone who understands, who listens to French rap might know. So there you go.
Do you think French rap, and I say this purely from being an American, and I'm not going to pretend Americans aren't dumb, because we are.
Oh, yeah.
We're culturally stupid. But like, I'm trying to picture, because I do know a little bit of French. I'm not going to pretend I can speak it fluently, but I took 2 years of French. But rapping in French sounds hilarious to me.
But rapping in general sounds hilarious.
I really need to, I need to hear some of that. I need to hear rapping totally in French and find out what it's like.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to expect from that. I don't even listen to American rap, so I can't imagine French rap will be something that'll be up my alley, honestly.
I just can't imagine like any like, I mean, I don't know what kind of rap it is, but like, can you imagine some like hardcore rap with all those laws and les in there? Oh my God.
What if it's better than American rap and we've just been missing out this whole time?
You know, I wouldn't doubt it if it is. I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, I don't know. If anyone listens to French rap, tell us. Give us some people to listen to.
Yeah, let us know about French rap.
Educate us on yeah.
Which sounds like a food.
In the comments below, tell us about your favorite French rapper.
Yeah, let us know about French raps.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the episodes for today's show. The very first one being A New Life, Season 1, Episode 1, where Apple and Onion are separately sent off to a new life in the city by their respective parents. Apple is supposed to find an apartment that is ready for him through a map, while Onion has free housing waiting through his job at Funko.
Yeah, Apple has I guess it's like a family friend, which is Falafel, that he's supposed to go meet up with, and Falafel's gonna hook him up with the apartment. So his parents give him a map to show him where Falafel's place is because Apple's not very bright and is not going to find it himself. So got himself a little map. And him and his family are adorable, and they like sing all these little songs. And this song just kind of progresses and stays through the episode. Like it keeps coming back, and I think it's adorable and kind of funny. And like, I don't know if you got this vibe, but to me, at first, I felt the vibe like they were taking the idea of like this being a cartoon show that was sort of for kids, but then interrupting the idea and making it like thrown into an adult world, because they'll like be singing a song and then like the train conductor like blows the whistle and he's like, "Hey, is anyone getting on board?" and like starts yelling at them. And it's like, oh yeah, this is not a kid's world. This is like, get on board. We're going to leave you. Kind of thing.
It was kind of a good combination of content for kids and adults, because there are a lot of moments like that where they'll break from whatever either song's going on or ridiculous situation is happening, or even like during some of the like credit scenes or the openings, or if they say a word that's like a word that kids wouldn't understand, like they'll just like, it'll cut to a scene of like a white background with Apple and Onion talking, and Onion will be describing the word and Apple's just in the background like, all right, no one cares. All right, boring, come on. It's like, so it's like pretending to be a kid's show with like, I guess on the inside, it's like an adult show or a show for grownups, at least, not like adult content, but it's got the wrappings of a kid's show.
It's almost like if a children's show was self-aware. I think that's really funny because I do like when they do the white screen and they're trying to explain the word and that gets interrupted. Like in the one episode, Apple's like, "We don't have time for this," and he just rips it from the wall.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or during the intros where they're just like, welcome, or should we just say welcome back?
Should we say welcome back?
Well, what if it's their first episode? And then like they're arguing over that. So there's a lot of semantics to it. It's part of the dry humor.
Welcome. Should it be welcome or welcome back?
Well, there might be first time viewers, so anyway, let's go.
Yeah, and I really, really appreciated that. I think that's fantastic. Really stood out to me.
Yeah, it definitely made me laugh.
And Apple's just getting all these like warm feelings from his parents as they're saying goodbye to him and he gets on the train. In contrast to Onion, whose parents are like there and he's just like, "Oh, no one came to say goodbye to me." It's like, other than his parents, he's like, "Oh yeah, because I don't have any friends." And like his dad's like, "I'm your friend." And he's like,
Yeah. And his mom just like, we don't count because we're old.
Yeah, I love the part when his dad like goes for the hug and he's like, "Hugs," and his mom hesitates for a minute and then finally kind of gives a hug at the same time. He's like, "Oh, one for you too, huh? Okay." It's just like, it seems like his parents don't really care about him that much, or maybe his mom doesn't, and his dad's just kind of like awkward. So it's just kind of like, "Oh, this sucks." So
as far as personalities go, Apple is more of an optimist who is just like, ready to get out there and take it one step at a time, and he's going to figure things out. And Onion is anxious and paranoid and really just wants to make friends. Like that's his whole thing throughout most of the episode, just trying to make a friend. He's got that job lined up for him at Funko, and so he has everything worked out as far as that goes. So he's supposedly the I guess the smarter of the two, but you wouldn't know it in a lot of these scenes.
Yeah. I guess it's supposed to be the thing where like Onion is probably book smart, but when it comes to common sense, he doesn't have any common sense whatsoever.
No, neither of them do, really.
And Apple, I don't think has any smarts, maybe at all. I think Apple's just genuinely super nice to everybody.
Right. Yeah, he's just got a big heart, and Onion has a big nerd brain, but very socially awkward.
Yeah. When they get to the city, Apple's impressed by literally everything, which I think was kind of a fun scene where he's just like, even just pipes and like, traffic signals. He's like, wow, just so astonished by everything, which I thought was great.
Yeah, he runs into an ice cream truck, like kids ordering ice cream, and he spends $65 to buy like everything in the truck.
As much ice cream as he can.
Yeah.
But he has a backpack with him, and that's what has his map in it. And when he's ordering all this ice cream, he had to set his backpack down, and he like hung it on the side mirror of the truck, which is an important thing. Onion was also there, and they didn't really talk to each other, which I think was kind of funny that because they run into each other multiple times. Onion gets like a little ice cream bar that he wants to give to his new boss as a present to make a good impression. But like the joke with that is like, it's a really hot day out. By the time like Onion gets to the place and is like sitting in there and his boss is coming out, it's completely melted and it's just run all over his hand. So he's just got melted ice cream running down his hand, and his like boss goes to shake his hand and then he's just like, oh no, and trying to hide it.
Yeah, he shakes it with his other hand, and then his boss says like, not to consider him a boss, but a friend. And so he like completely freaks out and forgets he has ice cream all over his hand and like starts patting him on the back and stuff and getting ice cream all over his suit. His boss is an instant coffee. We should describe some of these foods as we run into them.
Instant coffee, that's right.
So his jacket is basically one of those little Starbucks like koozie things that you put around the cup.
Yes.
So that's what Onion gets ice cream all over.
Rubs it all over it. And instant coffee is furious and tells him he's got to go wash it.
I love how his mood completely changes. Like he's being super nice and welcoming, and then when he gets it on there, he's like, "Oh, you better! If you want to keep this job, you better go get it clean now."
He's so freaking out.
Yeah, he is completely upset with them. So that's what sends Onion to the laundromat. But then Apple, on the other side of things, spends the rest of his money that he has in his socket, which is his sock pocket, on this street artist who. Which is like, what was it, like $75 or something to get this street art?
For a portrait where he was going to do like acrylic paint and glitter and like all kinds of stuff. Like he just kept adding to it.
Oh, right. He's like, how big? The biggest. Like how, what kind of paint? The best paint. Yeah. He's just trying to get the best of everything. And like when he was doing all this, I was thinking like, oh, maybe Apple's like comes from a rich family or something. But no, that was just all the money he had left.
Yeah, that was it. So he spent it all on this painting. And the painter just kind of like, it wasn't that bad of a painting, but it didn't look like Apple really. It was just like a goofy face.
The street artist was kind of trying to scam him out of it. Like he wouldn't show him the picture until he gave him the money. And then when he gave him the money, he was kind of laughing at him. And then when Apple actually liked it and legitimately called him a good artist, like he was very touched by that. And that comes back later.
Yeah, he was like super happy to hear that. Apple also helps some little kids who get their basketballs stuck in on a hula hoop. These little kids are like little pieces of candy in the wrappers, like a little thing of like Smarties or something and stuff like that. By throwing his shoes up at the ball, and he gets the ball down, but both his shoes get stuck.
Yeah.
But the kids were happy with it. That also comes back later. Onion goes to the laundromat and he's trying to wash his boss's clothes. There's a big thing of whey protein there who is trying to wash his uniform, like his gym clothes, but the washing machine he was using wasn't working. So Onion invites him to use his, and they put all the loads in together. So he's happy about that, but it did shrink and dye his boss's little sweater, aka, coffee ring, red, dyed it red, and it's rolled tiny. So when he brings it back, instant coffee is again infuriated and fires Onion immediately.
Yeah. And then Onion, like as he walks out in shame, steps into wet concrete, so he loses his shoes too.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what brings Apple and Onion together, because they're both kind of sitting at the shoe store together.
Yes, where they kind of meet up because they're both like I think they both ended up with the same size shoe, and they're being waited on by this cupcake woman that's getting them new sneakers and stuff. And they finally start bringing up conversation, I think, after Onion hears Apple singing a little bit, and they're kind of telling each other their woes about how Onion needs a place to live now. Apple is just like, hey, why don't you just live with me? Only I don't know where I'm supposed to go, so that's not great. I lost my map. But then the ice cream truck drives by, so they get on their new sneakers. They go running out the store to track it down. And this is where like everything comes full circle, which is great, because it's like everybody that they've helped at some point lends them a hand to try to catch up with it in the goofiest of ways. One of the others we didn't mention was the woman that's just a strip of bacon, who it was so hot she was just super greasy. She was
like Apple, sweating grease.
Fell in the grease and couldn't get out for a while. And he stuck a bunch of the ice cream to her to cool her off. And yeah, it really helped her out.
So she greases them up.
Yeah,
greases them both up and slides them after the ice cream truck. They don't quite catch it, but then they run into the Whey Protein, who has now won the championship since he got to get his jersey washed, and he also got a new car. So it's like you think he's just going to drive them after it, but instead he picks them both up and throws them at the ice cream truck. I think even Onion's like, oh, I thought he was going to let us ride his car.
I thought he was going to let us drive his car.
Yeah.
Hot dog, or the hot dog guy that was the street artist. I don't remember what he did, something too, and I don't remember what it was.
He was giving his speech.
You inspired me.
Yeah, and he was going to give his speech, and they're just like, we're in a hurry, we have to go. And he's like, okay, I give you inspiration. And so he's like sprinkles dust all over them, and they're running a little faster, but then start coughing because the dust got in their mouth or the glitter or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah. And that's how we get the children who employ the call of the children. Who just start making this noise, and they're like, the call of the children brings the ice cream truck to the stop. They get the map back and all's good. That was great.
Yeah. Oh man.
Great first episode, I think.
Yeah, it's a nice pace. And these are only 11-minute episodes, by the way. So real short, just like little snacks. They're
literally
very digestible. So that moves us on to the next episode of our today's show, which was Nothing Can Stop Us, season 2, episode 20, which was the highest rated, where Apple and Onion have to get Hot Dog his toupee before an important audition. What a weird episode. Like this is kind of where it goes like
off the rails.
Off the rails, yeah, but like to the point where it's like, Is the show more like this or more like the first episode? I couldn't tell, because the first one keeps it kind of grounded. I mean, aside from sliding, in bacon grease across the street or whatever. But this one, like, literally has them in a submarine going through the sewers.
Yeah. I mean, hey, who knows, man? You'll just have to watch more to find out, I guess. But I don't know why this is the highest rated episode, though, because I think out of all the ones we watched, I felt like this was, if I were going to rank them, I think this would be the third on my list.
Yeah,
outside of the other ones we watched.
Like, it was still funny, but it wasn't as funny as I found the other ones. Agreed.
Exactly. So that's weird to me, but I don't know. Who am I to judge, except a person that critiques cartoons every week?
Right. For the past however many years.
Like 6-7 years.
Good Lord. All right. But yeah, it opens with the hot dog that we were talking about auditioning, or he's about to audition for this part. So he's like running his lines and everything, and then like the first person goes in for the audition, and the lady who's auditioning is just like, all right, and no hats, like whatever you do, you can't wear a hat in the audition room. And so that's when he starts freaking out, Hot Dog does, because he's been wearing a toupee, which is basically just mustard on top of his head since he's a hot dog. Yeah.
and I think that's funny. But since he can't wear hats, he's freaking out because he did not bring his regular toupee that doesn't have a hat. So he calls Apple and Onion and he's just like, hey, like, I need my toupee. You got to get my toupee here. The one without the hat. I need you to go to my place, get it and bring it here. They're just like, yeah, we're on it. Like, we, you know, and we won't be stopped. You know, that's kind of their thing. They keep saying like, they won't be stopped.
Immediately when he maps it out, when Apple maps it out, he's like, oh, this is so far. This is way too far for us to walk. And and I'm just like, oh, it's completely stopped us.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was great. They immediately tried to give up, but they did it anyway. So they decide that they need to rent a car. So they go to a car rental place. There's a lot going on there that was cracking me up with talking to the car rental guy, which was a thing of string cheese.
Yeah.
But that whole thing was hilarious. I love the thing where I don't remember what it was that they had said to him. And they were like, I'm sure you get this all the time. And he was just like, yeah, because I was raised by car renters. Not that he works at a car rental place, but he was raised by two car renters.
Well, because he says, our hot dog says like, oh, I've got to have a lot of experience with car rental. And then that's when they kind of just ask him like, oh, have you been like renting out cars for a long time or whatever? And he's just like, no, I was raised by car renters. Yeah. It's very serious. Like he goes, yeah. A very serious tone.
You see like a little picture on the wall of him as a child with these two other people and some cars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All that he's trying to get from them is their like physical address, and they don't know what it is. They're just like, Roof Shack, we told you.
Yeah.
They don't know what the actual
their own address is.
Yeah.
And they also don't have a credit card. So they have to get Falafel over there. And Falafel has been doing like all these different favors for them. And he's so sick and tired of it. So they're just like, okay, this is the last favor we'll ever ask of you ever if you do this. So that he's just like, okay, gladly. I will gladly do this.
Very happy to help them if it's the last favor.
And what I love about this, though, is he did say, just a heads up that we only have one vehicle left. He never says car. He just keeps saying, well, we have one vehicle left. So they do it. They pay for it. And then he's like, all right, here's the one vehicle we have left. And it's this giant submarine.
Right. No refunds. Yeah.
Oh, God, that was so good.
So they end up like digging a hole into the street and diving down into the sewer with the submarine.
Yeah, they are going through all the sewer and through the water underground, and they get to the apartment. They have the periscope up, and that's blocking traffic, which there's this guy. I think that's Hoagie. I think he's a character that reoccurs from time to time. He's so mad, honking his horn at them. They get to the apartment, they grab a toupee, but even if everything works out, they grab the wrong toupee. After all this, they grab one that has a sailor hat attached to it.
Yeah.
So it would have defeated the purpose anyway, because they obviously didn't listen whatsoever. But they get it, and they go back underwater.
I like the scene, though, where the traffic is blocked by the telescope coming out of the sewer, and Hoagie's complaining. And then after it goes down, he's like, geez, some people are so inconsiderate. All right, time for you to make that 17-point turn I was waiting this whole time to make. And so the scene is then just him like doing, because you usually have the 3-point turns or whatever. And he's just like coming in, going out, coming in, going out, because they're in this narrow alleyway doing it. And there's all these cars behind him just waiting on him. I thought that was really funny. And it actually like continues a little bit later, which was great.
Yeah, I liked that too. That was pretty good. Now that they're going through the sewers and they're on their way to that studio, they get picked up on a radar by like another sub or something. And it's this like upside down gingerbread man guy, which like instead of just making a gingerbread man that functions like you would imagine, where like the gingerbread man's like, decorative eyes and mouth are the eyes and mouth. They have him upside down and just put like other eyes and mouth and stuff on him. So it's just really hard to explain.
Yeah. So he's like a sewer dwelling upside down gingerbread man
with sewer rats.
His title is the German Rat King. So there's so much weird about it. So he thinks I guess his base or underground base or whatever is being invaded. So he tells the rats like it's finally happening, and ends up firing torpedoes or a torpedo at the sub. And a whole battle ensues, or a whole like chase ensues. And it ends with them all kind of like blowing up out of the sewer back onto the street. And what's his name? The gingerbread man was just like, all right, no harm. Like, at least we're all okay, except, of course, for all of the harm that was caused as he's like falling apart.
Yeah. And then he's like, hey, can I just join you guys? Like, I don't have anything else to do.
I wonder if this is his first appearance. I don't know.
I don't think it is, because he seemed like he recognized them. He was like, oh, I didn't know it was you guys.
Yeah.
Is what he said. So it must not be his first appearance. He must
have had like a separate episode entirely.
Yeah. And then he's just like, you mind if I tag along? They're like, sure. So then the only thing separating them from the studio now is the annual skunk, porcupine, and bee parade, which is going on.
The 71st annual porcupine, wasp, and skunk parade. Yeah.
Yes. So we see that going, but then it cuts to the studio and the hot dog's he's just like, it's time for him to go back there and do his thing, because he's been trying to stall for time. And the door busts open and they come in like all like stung up and swollen and dirty, and like there's stink clouds around them, and they hold the toupee out and it just disintegrates into ash.
He faces his fears and goes in there. Well, actually, he faces his fears. He's about to leave, and Apple gives him a whole speech. It's like, we like risked our lives, we did all this stuff, to get this to you. So then we didn't let any of that stop us. So you're not gonna let being bald stop you from giving the audition of your life. And he's like, you're right. Like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do this with confidence. And so he just waltzes in there, like bald and all, just very confidently, kills the audition, and makes like the people cry who are in there listening to him. But then it's like at the very end of it, when even the woman was like, this is the most moving performance I've ever witnessed. And then says like, unfortunately, you're bald. Did you not read the script? What a waste of time. So he still doesn't get the part because he was bald.
Because he's bald. Also, like, there's a part that made me laugh out loud really hard, which is when he first pulled off his hat toupee and reveals his baldness, and just all the characters' faces, like, they just go dead silent, and just the look they all have, it just looks like utter disgust.
Yeah, they're all just like mortified by bald hot dog.
Yeah, that had me laugh so hard. Because it does have the, like, you know, the real wrinkle to a point little hole thing on the top. And they're all like staring at it. And oh my God, that was killing me.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was really fun. Like, it was a good episode. Not the best one out of the three, but a good one.
It was good.
But for the last one we watched, it was For Queen and Country, season 2, episode 25. Patreon picked by Epic Otter. So thank you, Epic.
Thanks, Epic.
In this one, Onion confesses his love for the Queen of England. Apple concocts a scheme for Onion to win her heart.
Oh, God.
There was this, like, I said the last one was weird, but this one really kind of bent reality in such a strange way.
Yeah.
Especially with all the organs being exchanged.
Yeah, it goes a little like Invader Zim in some places here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. Yeah, it starts out with William Shakespeare, who is a steak Shakespeare guy, who's narrating and giving us some context here. And he stays throughout the thing. He's this painting that they had recently bought and hung up in their apartment. So he's kind of narrating a lot of stuff. And like as the episode progresses, they take the painting along with them everywhere. So he keeps kind of interjecting along into the episode. And like he can talk to Apple and Onion too. Like he'll like give them advice, and especially towards the end, he really wants them to kill people.
Yeah,
William Shakespeare is very violent.
He's commanding that they slay people.
Yeah, extremely violent.
We find out that Onion has some sort of like intense fascination and love for the Queen of England. As he's watching this like old footage of her like on screen and seeing how graceful she is and how her grace and decor are timeless. But Apple's just like, she's like 90 years old, right?
Yeah.
And it's like age is just a number, that kind of thing. And they decide like to win her heart, like he needs to be a king. Onion needs to be a king. And so they are also talking about, I guess, something that happened in their previous episode. So there is some continuity here. Yes. Where Apple was in love with romaine lettuce, probably a different character. and what they learned from that was that you can't be deceptive about love. But it's okay in this case because Onion really loves her and his love is true. And Apple finds this out because Onion literally pulls the heart out of his chest and puts it into Apple so that he can feel the same way that Onion feels about her.
So stupid.
Yeah. Like it sounds really dumb, but it's actually really funny when you see it.
Yeah, I love it. I love the idea that like they even say how they've learned their lesson and then they immediately throw it out the window.
Yeah.
They're like, but in this case, it's fine. And they're like,
in this case, deception is acceptable. Yeah.
They're going to just do it again anyway. So the thing is, they're like, since she's a queen, she can't marry a pauper. So Onion has to be a king. So they're going to have him dress up and pretend to be a king. So they fly to the UK.
Well, that's a whole nother thing, too, is getting the tickets that are $1,600. And then they ask like how much baggage is. And then it cuts to a scene of like baggage that's shaped like them on the railway or whatever, the baggage claim. And you think they're inside of it. But then it passes by and they're like, oh, we should have, like, why didn't we just dress ourselves up like that? Or why didn't we just like send ourselves as baggage? Instead, we went into a massive loan with a loan shark.
Yeah. I think that's great. So now they're just horribly in debt with a dangerous person.
And they're dressed up like a king and a jester. Apple is a jester.
Yeah. I do like too that like in the background during that scene, you do see those things open up and it's two other characters that jump out and like a little constable starts chasing them.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. But a jester and Onion and the painting is there with them. They go up to Buckingham Palace because there's a big old ham.
They really do emphasize that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of puns in this one. And the guards won't let them pass because they're just like, no, you can't come up. The guards are both chocolate bars. And Onion immediately gives up again because it's Onion, basically. Apple's just like, no, I got this. So he just says like the dumbest joke to distract them. It's not even like a joke. He says something about like, you've used a spoon to eat porridge, but have you used a porridge to eat a spoon? Something dumb like that. And they lose their minds over this.
Yeah, they're both just like literally ROFL, just rolling on the floor, cracking up over it, and just constantly going back and forth about how ridiculous it would be to eat a spoon with porridge and how they get porridge all over their hands or whatever. And that's distracted them entirely to where their Apple and Onion are able to steal their keys and get inside the palace.
Yeah, they just walk right in. The queen's having tea. The queen is a giant cake. And she's having tea time, which gets interrupted. So she snaps. She's super mad. But then Apple is just like, but Onion's the king of America, which immediately changes her tune. And she immediately is like in love with him all of a sudden. And they go to Westminster, which is covered in mincemeat.
Yeah.
And they get married. They actually do go through it. They get married. Then the queen does an evil laugh. And then she's just is kind of like excited now because she's revealed her plan was that now that she's married the king of America, she now owns America once again.
Right. For the first time since 1776.
Yeah.
They're married by this cranberry like pie priest or something, and he just flies off after they're done. Like he literally just kind of floats off into the air.
Sure. And she's like, Onion's like, but you do love me, right? And she's like, oh, of course. But then I can't remember if it was Apple or the portrait were like, look, and it just shows her fingers crossed behind her back.
Yeah.
And Onion's like, no. And like all of his intestines just like barf out of his stomach. And then for like 5 minutes,
he's trying to tell Apple, he's like, oh, my insides have been torn to shreds.
Oh,
and
that's
he
right.
pulls them out and tries to share them with Apple. And Apple's like, no, I'll just empathize on this one. And then it's gross scene of Onion just slowly like sucking his like intestines back into his body.
Like spaghetti. And it lasts for a really long time. Like these other scenes like take place of like back and forth with like Apple and the queen and everything. In the background, Onion's still just slurping his intestines back down. But Apple like tells her the truth. It's just like, oh, you're an idiot. America doesn't have a king. So like, actually, you messed up. And the queen's like, I want a divorce. And they have this back and forth while Onion's just still trying to swallow his intestines back in.
And William Shakespeare has thrown his spear to Apple and told him to slay her.
And it ends on them on a plane going back home. Onion's sad about it a little bit. And I mean, the adventure's just kind of over. And behind them, sitting behind them in the seats behind them in the plane, is that constable we saw earlier that chased the two ruffians that looked like Apple and Onion. So I think the constable's following them because he's suspicious.
Yeah, because he puts a like an American police hat on as they cross like over in the airplane, and you see that cranberry like pied constable fly by too in the background.
Oh yeah, the priest. Yeah,
yeah.
He's flying out there.
So really weird episode, like very out there.
Yes,
but funny. A lot of really funny scenes.
Exactly.
We only named like 2 of the organ transfer parts, but there are a lot of like back and forth with hearts, especially.
That came up so many times. Like they exchanged hearts.
Oh, like, they exchanged lungs once, and then they were both suffocating. Yeah,
yeah, because the one had no oxygen, the one had too much, and it was just like
had too many lungs, and they were squeezing each other. Yeah,
that was a good one.
So weird. Oh man.
Good times.
Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our kids to Foodtopia, I guess, to help Apple and Onion pay rent, make friends, and marry queens, then see what they thought of Apple and Onion.
I wasn't sure if this cartoon would be sweet like an apple or stink like an onion. Instead, it was just kind of cool, like ice cream. And now I'm faced with the moral dilemma. If my food started to speak, would I still eat it? Yeah, probably.
This show was really weird and made it seem like the lives of anthropomorphic food items are way more complicated than I ever gave them credit for. And if everyone in this world is food, why are they eating other foods that look just like them? Feels like a goofy Pluto situation all over again.
That situation will never rectify itself at any point.
I think Disney has gone on record of saying like, oh, we just made one anthropomorphic and one's a pet. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't explain anything.
It doesn't explain anything. That would be like, yeah, well, we've got one human and then one pet human.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not how it works.
No.
You can't do that.
You're not answering. You're just adding more questions.
Yeah, it's weird. That's real weird.
Yeah, because the food in this world does eat other food that looks like food. Like literally the episode where we see them like eating ice cream, there is a man who is a giant ice cream cone in a different scene. So it's like,
you're right.
Yeah, I don't get it, but you know, it is what it is.
Just don't question it too much. You're gonna hurt yourself, you know? Speaking of questioning things, what are some of the things that you did like about this cartoon?
I really liked the humor and occasional trek into absurdity. Like that really worked for me in this cartoon. I've always been a fan of drier, like more direct humor anyway. And this cartoon has it in spades. Like that's it's all about the, not only the jokes themselves, but the amazing delivery we got from the voice actors. Like they were really spot on with it. Like, I don't know that, like you said, the director voiced Apple.
Yeah.
George Gindi, I don't know that if he had ever had any other parts before, but he was really good as Apple, like very convincing.
This is his only credit on IMDb for acting.
Really, man, he did a great job. Like he really knew what that character was supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is the first cartoon in a while that made me legitimately laugh out loud, or at the very least snicker at some of these like dumb jokes. So, you know, credit to them for that. And even though the plots are usually pretty similar to real world situations, the fact that everyone in the world is a random food item somehow really added to the scene. Like nobody comments on anybody being weird food items at all. And the dialogue is still great independent of that. Like you were talking about earlier with the great writing. So visually, it's just so much funnier seeing a giant, you know, cheese stick talking about rental cars or a corn dog who's anxious about being bald. So like, I don't know, just like adding the food thing on top of the situation made the jokes even funnier for me.
Yeah, and like on top of that too, because I agree with all of that, like the idea that all of their names are just what food they are, like that there's a character whose name is instant coffee is amazing.
Yeah. And it wasn't even
so
something I
funny.
was thinking about at first because I'm like, yeah, it's instant coffee. That's just his name. But it's right because they're literally like one of their names is romaine lettuce, like the romance he was talking about earlier.
I think that's so good.
Which begs another question of like, what are the other members of that same species? Like, what are Apple's parents' names?
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe just father apple, mother apple. I don't know.
Yeah, something. So it raises a lot of questions, but you also don't really ask them because it doesn't dwell on any of that. It just moves forward like this is just acceptable. This is the world, and you just are a part of it now.
Yeah, and I think that's some of like what makes it fun and funny is just that idea of like this is an absurd world, and like they don't mind. I don't think they would mind you asking those questions of like, well, I mean, but this like then what are the mom and dads and any other Apple's names? And I feel like the writers would be like, yeah, what are they? They just be like, yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, his dad's name is John and his mother is Mary. It's like, oh, well, but that doesn't answer my question. But why? Yeah.
I think it's just ridiculous. And it's exactly what they want it to be like that. It's super funny. And there's so many witty lines and they're all delivered in that classic subtle British style of humor, but it's just really dry. So if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss out. And it's nonstop. Like the jokes are just constant.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it was way more funny than I imagined the show would be. Like I was not expecting it at all to be this funny.
Right. It was random humor, but still with there was still like a guiding like force to it. Like it all meant something. It wasn't just out of nowhere. And so it didn't like Bubsy us or anything.
No, there was still like a through plot that was followed. And it's like as absurd as the world is, it still has its rules that it follows in its own weird way. So like even when things do get random, like they don't do anything that feels like it just breaks the idea of the world so that stuff feels just totally absurd to the point of like it's not fun. Or it's just so random that it becomes obnoxious. Like it does follow specific like aesthetics and ideas and themes, I think is really the big thing. It all follows very specific themes in each episode. So as ridiculous as things get, they still make sense in the weirdest way. And with that too, I think all the characters are great. Like even the throwaway characters that only show up for a single scene or two. I don't think there was a single episode or a single character in any of these that I didn't find some kind of enjoyment with, whether it's like the design of the character or their lines or the delivery or what have you. Every character was just super fun for their own reasons. Like the German gingerbread man, that was amazing.
German Rat King, yeah.
Yeah, instant coffee was great. The whey protein guy was fantastic.
Stylistically, I like how they utilize some of the aspects of the food. Like for the car, the cheese, the string cheese, who was a car rental guy, like the top of his head, his hair was made of just the cheese pulled apart a little bit. So you could tell he was string cheese, but it also kind of worked as his hair. So I really like stylistically how they use those foods.
Yeah, and the way that it was kind of frayed at the top too, it gave you that idea of this is a guy that just like, it just feels barely put together at that point. Like he just looks like he kind of hates his job. Like it's cheese, but it's like it's supposed to be hair and it makes it look like it's kind of messy too. So It's just like this dude that's just like, man, I'm just here for my paycheck. Like, pay your thing. Let me get you your submarine. It's just like, that's another one of those things. I'm like, as absurd as it is, like it honestly made sense in the choices they made for it. So that's what's so weird about this thing. And as you said too earlier, these were short, so the pacing was right on point. They didn't overextend. Each episode wrapped up before anything felt drawn out. So like, I don't think any of the jokes overstayed their welcome. I didn't catch myself once looking to see if the episodes are almost over. In fact, I didn't realize that these were going to be short episodes. I was expecting a full, 22-minute segment. So when that first episode ended much quicker than I thought it would, I was just like, oh, okay. All right, then that worked. Like it felt like it ended right when it should have. So that was great.
Yeah, I think it would have been to its detriment had they tried to run like a full 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have tired out some of the jokes. But like you said, the timing of it was perfect and it ended right when it should have, to where it was still fresh. It still felt nice and you got a good laugh out of it without it like overstaying.
Yeah, as opposed to like when we talked about Jeff and some aliens, when we did that, where it was just like you felt that halfway point of when the episode should have ended and didn't. And then they kind of spin into another like segment of the thing without it being like a new plot line. They just kind of build on the plot line. It's just like those felt like they were playing themselves out. And
as much as we like that show, like the episodes did feel a little too long for the delivery.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they really nailed it with that aspect of this one. As far as any dislikes and criticisms, do you have any for this one?
I don't really have any like serious ones, but while it's not really an outright negative, the series doesn't seem to have any sort of like larger overarching story at all.
Yeah.
Like while cartoons like Regular Show or Gravity Falls, which were also 11-minute episode shows, those were all leading to something grander. It feels like Apple and Onion just kind of are living their life. And that's not to say that there wouldn't have been some sort of huge payoff had the show not been prematurely canceled. But as far as what we got, it felt more like a series of snacks versus a full course meal. And again, this isn't really a strike against it. It's just something I wanted to note after those other cartoons I mentioned spoiled us, in the times that we got to live out those whole live in their universe for a bit and then get that full grand story. And this one just kind of like, I don't know, just little tidbits, just little funny stories.
Yeah, sure. A little bit more sitcom-y in a way where it's just kind of like each episode's just kind of going to do its thing and there's not like a big overarching thing. Yeah, I get you.
Right. There is some continuity to it. Like we got some hints of that, but it wasn't anything where you have to have seen a prior episode to understand what was going on. It seemed like at any point. It would have been nice to know who that gingerbread man was, but even without knowing that, he was still a funny character.
Yeah, exactly. I was wondering about that, though. I was just kind of like, I wonder what episode he appeared in because I kind of want to see that, but I don't know. I didn't really have anything. I think it was pretty good. I think it was pretty solid. I understand where you're coming from, but that wasn't really anything I thought of. Like I was just kind of like, I felt pretty satisfied with all the choices that they made with it, to be honest. So, I don't really have anything to really critique them on as far as negatives.
So what would you give this show overall?
I think it was pretty great. And it feels like it hit out of nowhere because I'd never even heard of this thing. And it's probably one of the best tunes from the UK I've seen, at least in a long time. And it made me genuinely want to see more of it. So I gave Apple and Onion 4.5 bowls of Sewer Rat King cereal out of 5.
Yeah. So this show was a nice little surprise. Honestly, it did come out of nowhere because, like I said last episode when we were talking about it, like I had never heard of it, no idea what it was. And I went in just seeing screenshots of it, assuming that it would be like an action-packed slapstick comedy intended more for kids because it's just these little food items and it looks goofy on its surface. But after we got like a little taste of what it had to offer, it feels like it might have more of a universal appeal, I think. I don't think that we're in the minority for not having heard of this cartoon, but I'm definitely glad I know about it now. So overall, I'd give Apple and Onion 4.5 big bowls of Call of the Children cereal out of 5. And I think if you enjoy dry, generally down-to-earth kind of observational humor, then you should definitely give this one a shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this also is on HBO Max right now, so it has not been purged yet. So
it's also on Hulu, so you can watch it on there too. Yeah,
there we go. Yeah, so that's where it's available if you do want to see it. I'm assuming HBO Max will give it the slash at some point since it hates everything that's good in this world. But maybe it'll stick around on Hulu. So there you go. And just a heads up, at some point this month, you might experience a temporary interruption in your feed, as we're going to be switching over our hosting service for all of our podcasts at Nerd Sloth. Last time we did it, it only interrupted listening for maybe an afternoon or so, and then it was all good. So just an FYI, at some point, if you can't get an episode to play, just know we're probably working on it. So don't panic. We'll get it fixed. We're getting there. That's what I'm saying. We're getting there.
It's happening. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. Thank you again to Lucas for suggesting Apple and Onion. This was a super, super fun one to get into.
Yes. Thank you so much, Lucas. This is going to go right up there with my, this feels like a great companion to regular show. Like, since regular
Absolutely.
show ended 2017, this one started in 2016, you can almost transition right from one to the other and not really miss out on that same kind of comedy.
I totally agree with that. I feel like it's a very similar style. It is very much like a I compared it more to Gumball earlier, but I do think comparing it to regular show is way more apt. But yeah, I think you're right. It's almost like a British version of something like that. So if you do like regular show, I think this is something you would enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry. So it's time for us to say goodbye. And next week, we'll be watching
Anastasia, submitted via Instagram by Sarah Lee 008.
Whoa, it's finally happening.
It's happening. We've been talking about it since like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, it's really not that long.
Yeah, but like I guess, folks, after we did All Dogs Go to Heaven and we were talking about, the Don Bluth stuff, this was not that far up the list. It was, I guess it was fairly far if you compare that there's almost like 400 on there, but it was in like the 40s or something. So I guess all of you were just kind of like, hey, now that you guys were talking about...
Watch Anastasia now.
Yeah, Joseph hasn't seen it and Chris loves it. And we were talking about Don Bluth films. Y'all voted this one hard that it jumped up, like 30, 40 slots in just a couple weeks' time in the poll over on Ranker. So good God. Nice. Good on you, folks. So we're doing it.
Way to manipulate the polls.
Yeah. Way to skew the polls there. But no, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So another thank you to Sarah Lee, who is picking another golden one to do. And I'm just going to predict real quick that once we do our year wrap-up episode, our Spoonies for this past year, we are going to have such a hard time this year. I think this is going to be the hardest one we've had. I'm just going to throw that prediction out there. You and I are going to have the roughest Spoonies we have had picking our favorites.
I think you're right, because I was thinking about that earlier. Like, was Gumball this year? Like, we had so many good ones this year.
I think so. Gumball, regular show, Vox Machina, so many great cartoons. We're going to have this.
It has felt like a year that I've been throwing out 4s and 5s constantly. So yeah, this may be the hardest year yet to choose like winners for those categories.
I know our editor Jack did say at one point, I don't remember when it was, there was a few week span where it was like several 5s in a row. So
yeah,
we had the very first Scooby-Doo cartoon this year also. So
geez, that's right.
This is gonna be rough, folks. Even
for like the biggest surprise, like there's been a lot of surprising shows for me this year too. So yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna be rough.
Who knows where it's gonna go?
So that'll be in like 4 episodes. I think we'll do an episode 300, and then I think Spoonies will come after that, so we can do our big 300.
Coming right up, yeah.
So about 4 or 5 episodes, something like that. Anyway, fun times.
Yeah, we'll see what else surprises us this year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerd Sloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.